That's got to be the best part I've ever seen.
So it would seem. I'm not being funny. What the fuck is going on?
Alright boys and girls, I hope you're having a lovely day, okay? Today boys, I wanted to talk about Assassin's Creed Black Flag, okay? In my opinion, one of the best entries in this series. I'm pretty confident, lads, that this is actually my favourite in the series, okay? There's a lot of games in the series that I absolutely adore, especially like the original ones, but yeah, I think this is my favourite. And I wanted to talk about it today because obviously Assassin's Creed Mirage is coming out in, I think, one day. And I'm pretty damn excited for Mirage because it seems like it's going to be a massive return to form. Everything that like I've seen from it, or most of the things I've seen from it, seem like it's returning to the old school Assassin's Creed, which is exactly what I want to see, okay, because I'm really not a fan of the way that Assassin's Creed has gone in the most recent years. You know, Valhalla, in my opinion, is just garbage. I really wasn't a fan of Odyssey either. I'm not even really a big fan of Origins. I know a lot of people do like Origins, but I just don't like the RPG-ness. I just want my Assassin's Creed games to deliver me some nice free running, some good story, some good characters, and I just want to have a good time with it, you know. I don't want to be spending 2,000 hours, you know, just doing checklist things. I just want a nice, fun game with a nice little story, okay, and that's what the old school Assassin's Creed's delivered to me, okay, and over the recent years, I feel like that just hasn't been the case.
I don't care about you. The only thing I want is for you to disappear, go away, leave, forever!
I feel like Ubisoft has just really lost their way with Assassin's Creed, so I'm hoping that Mirage is going to be like the old ones. But we're not talking about Mirage today, boys. We're not talking about Valhalla, okay? We are talking about Black Flag, okay? And I'm excited to talk about it, boys, because I haven't played this one in literally years. I don't think I played it since it came out. And I was just thinking to myself, like, is this game as good as I remembered, you know? Because again, this is like my favorite in the series, but I haven't played it in such a long time, you know? Maybe my memory is failing me a bit, you know? Maybe it's not aged so well. However, the good news is, boys, that after playing it through again, I can comfortably say that this game is as good as I remember, if not better. So let's begin to talk about it then, boys, okay? So this game has an absolutely killer intro, okay? The introduction to this game is borderline perfect. It's one of the best intros to any Assassin's Creed game. So this game kicks off in a massive dilemma for our boy Edward Kenway, okay? Edward Kenway is the main protagonist of this story, okay? And Edward is a pirate. He's in the middle of like a massive battle, okay? And there's like a storm and just things are getting pretty damn crazy, okay? And unfortunately for him, his ship ends up getting shipwrecked. And what I really like about this intro in particular is the fact that it just wastes no time showing you like the mechanics of this game. This game literally covers every single thing that this game offers in like the first, like, I don't know, 20 minutes of the game. You'll do everything in the game within 20 minutes. So the first thing you'll be doing is doing like the ship combat, which we'll get into in a bit more detail later. And as soon as that's over, you'll do a little bit of free running, which of course is a massive part of Assassin's Creed. And then you'll learn how to do like stealth assassinations and stuff like that. And it basically just shows you everything you need to know in this game. And again, it does it so quickly and seamlessly, which I really liked. So on top of that, it also introduces a lot of key characters to this story, okay, which is of course a bonus. We learn quite a bit about Edward Kenway, which again I'll get into in a bit more detail later when I talk about all the other characters. We learn about Bonnet, who's a merchant, and he's a great character, by the way. We learn about quite a few of the villains of this game, and it just sets things up really nicely, which I really liked. So first things first, boys, I want to talk about something that honestly like blew my mind when I put this game on, okay, and that is the visuals, okay. I cannot believe how good this game looks considering how old it is. This game came out at the launch of the PS4, okay, so this is like by no means a new game, okay. This game shouldn't look modern. Yes, there might be a few details here and there that maybe haven't aged the best, but for the most part, boys, this game is a visual masterpiece. And this game looks better than some of the games we've gotten recently, okay. I mean, like, my mind is coming back to like the Saints Row remake and how boring and drab that game looked like. Compare it to this game, which I think came out in like 2016. Like, it's actually ridiculous. Like, the color palette in this game is just incredible, okay. I mean, you'll go and you'll look at like the amazing, beautiful oceans. You'll have whales springing out of the water. Then to contrast that, you've got like the stormy weather, which will come in and the thunder will be hitting, and again, it is just visually amazing. And then you've got the beautiful beaches with the palm trees. This game just has an amazing attention to detail, which I'd honestly admire, again, especially for the age. Like, it just blew my mind how good it looked, because I was thinking like this game is probably aged a little bit bad, but no, it hasn't, boys. Like, it genuinely looks mind-blowing.
It's so beautiful.
I have to commend Ubisoft for that, you know, because Ubisoft during this era, they were hitting out the park with a lot of their games, you know. The Far Cry series was as good as ever with, like, Far Cry 3. Assassin's Creed was actually good then. We had the Rayman reboots with, like, the 2D stuff. Like, Ubisoft were actually really good during this era, and obviously recently they've not been the same, but yeah, that's a topic for another day. So next, lads, I want to talk about the story, okay? And honestly, the story to this game and, like, the characters, probably, like, one of, if not my favorite in the entire series. And the weirdest thing about it is it's not even really an assassin story, you know? Like, all the other games are obviously about the Creed and the assassins and stuff like this, and obviously they're involved in this game, but for the most part, it's a pirate's tale. And this story almost purely focuses on Edward Kenway, and for the most part of this game, Edward Kenway is not an assassin. But I think that's what I liked about it so much, you know, because it felt like such a personal story, which I really enjoyed, and all the characters in this game are just brilliant, okay? I mean, the side characters in this game, all of them are fantastic, you know? You've got so many great ones. You've got James Kidd, who's very mysterious and has a bit of a secret identity, which I won't spoil for those of you who haven't played it. You've got Blackbeard, aka Thatch, and he's an amazing character. He's just absolutely insane. He's honestly menacing and scary at times.
Hellish thing from a fever dream, and men will drop to their knees, pleading for their lord before all else.
Oh god.
You've got Bonnet the Merchant, who's hilarious, and I just absolutely love this character, and he just goes in so many different crazy directions where you just wouldn't even see it coming. You've got characters like Hornigold, who actually ends up becoming a little bit of a villain throughout the game, but you can kind of understand where he's coming from. He's one of those kind of villains. And then, of course, you've got Edward Kenway, okay, and in my opinion, he is the second best character in this series. Obviously, Ezio being number one, you know, you can't beat Big Daddy Ezio.
You're the GOAT.
But Edward is a close second, okay? I really enjoyed his character and his progression as a character, because at the start of the game, you know, Edward could not be further from an assassin, you know? He's very stubborn, he's very greedy, he's very selfish. All he really cares about is money, okay? He's obviously looking for the observatory, and all he wants it for is so that he can sell it for money and gold and fame and all of that, everything that pirates want. But as the game progresses, things get worse and worse for Edward, and he loses a few people in the process, and he starts to have a bit of a change of heart, and he starts to see that, you know, the error of his ways. And I just really like the way that he slowly became an assassin over time, you know? They didn't just make him an assassin straight away, you know, they built up to it, and it was really, really nice, like, character transition. In terms of the story here, boys, I won't get into all, like, the nitty-gritty of it, and again, I don't want to spoil too much, because I know, like, not everyone would have played this game, and I want you guys to actually play it for yourselves. But what I will say about it, lads, if I was to sell it to you guys, it honestly reminds me a lot of the Red Dead Redemption 2 story. And some of you guys might be a little bit like, wait, what? This game is nothing like Red Dead 2, but let me just explain, okay? So in Red Dead 2, obviously civilization is changing. The Wild West and all of its outlaws are starting to come to a bit of an end, okay? Obviously law enforcement is, like, basically cracking down on all of the, like, the remaining outlaws. And as that story progresses, you can kind of just see how, like, the times are changing and how basically the Wild West is starting to fizzle out. And it's the same sort of thing with Assassin's Creed Black Flag, but obviously with the pirate era. At the beginning of the game, we're like a super optimistic pirate, you know, we got all of this grand ideals about how we're going to become a great pirate with all this money and stuff. But as the game progresses, the pirates are getting fizzled out more and more, okay? The King of England is basically trying to get rid of the pirates. And by the end, Edward's lost a lot of people, you know, a lot of his friends, a lot of people that he cared about. And it just reminded me a lot of how Red Dead 2 story played out, because by the end of this game, basically the pirate era is almost over. Okay then, boys, next up I want to talk about a couple of things about this game that I really wasn't a massive fan of, okay? Because this game is not perfect, okay? I'm not going to sit here and pretend that it is. And this game definitely has its faults, okay? And there's two things in particular that I really wasn't a massive fan of. So the first thing I want to talk about, lads, is probably not going to surprise too many people that have played this game, okay? And that's going to be the Abstergo missions. These are just really, really boring. Obviously, at the end of Assassin's Creed 3, and I hope I'm not spoiling this for anyone, but I'm sure most of you guys are pretty aware of this by now, but Desmond unfortunately dies. So that means in the Abstergo missions, you're no longer playing as Desmond. You now play in first person as a completely silent protagonist, okay? And yeah, it's just kind of a bit boring and stale, and I just wish it wasn't there, you know? Every minute that I spent in this, like, really boring Abstergo missions, I just wanted to be back being Edward, you know, and being a pirate.
We've been here less than a week, and I feel like it's a year. I hate it here.
They just felt like, why were they even there, you know? Because literally literally all you do is like walk around, maybe solve a puzzle or two. Like they just felt so pointless. I really forgot how much I hated those Abstergo missions. Thankfully there's not too many. I think there's like 4 or 5 of them, but yeah, they really kill the pacing, you know, because as soon as you're like really enjoying the game and you just want to sink your teeth into it even more, you get pulled out of the fucking animus into this boring first person perspective, and I didn't really want to have to do these missions, but unfortunately if you want to go through with the game, you have to do them. And the second thing I wasn't really a massive fan of here, lads, was the tailing missions, okay? And obviously these are a big part of the Assassin's Creed games, and honestly it's a little bit of a meme at this point with how many tailing missions there are. I'm not totally against them. I don't think they're all bad, you know, sometimes there is an occasionally fun tailing mission, but there is so many in this game, lads. I genuinely think there's like 15 or something, and some of them are just super boring, you know, you're just slowly creeping and moving and trying to stay in stealth, and again, sometimes it can be fun because there's, you know, if they put like a lot of enemies out there and you got to avoid them stuff, I like that, but at other times you're genuinely just walking at a snail's pace, trying to keep up with people, and it is just boring. Okay then boys, the final thing I want to focus on in this video, okay, is going to be, of course, the gameplay, okay? That's the one aspect of this game we haven't talked about somehow, even though that's obviously the core of the game. So I want to break this up into 3 key areas, okay, and we're going to kick things off with free running, okay, because I don't think you can make a good Assassin's Creed game without good free running, and here it is absolutely fantastic. I honestly felt like when I was just playing this game, I could just run and climb on literally everything, okay, and that's how a good Assassin's Creed game is supposed to make you feel. The way that you can just seamlessly transition from trees to roofs and then just go on this amazing little free run lines. I just really enjoy that aspect of the game. The second aspect of the gameplay we'll talk about then, lads, is going to be the combat, okay, like the one-on-one combat, and to be honest, it's not much different to any of the other Assassin's Creed games. There's a handful of new weapons you'll have in this Assassin's Creed that you don't have in the others. I mean, the ones that stand out to me were the dual pistols. These were super fun to use, and I would use them very often, but aside from that, you know, you kind of know what to expect with Assassin's Creed. You know, you counter, you kill, and yeah, it's pretty simple stuff. These old Assassin's Creed games were never really about like the super deep combat, you know, like it was always pretty simple to like execute, but it always looked super stylish, and that's always what these old Assassin's Creed games really prioritize, is the style, okay, and it just always looks really fun. And then the final thing I want to talk about, lads, with the gameplay is going to be probably my favorite aspect of the game, okay, and of course it would be, because it's a pirate game, it's going to be the naval combat, okay. I mean, it is honestly incredible how good it is. It's just stupidly fun to like do ship combat in this game, you know, and it's almost like a little bit of a ship like RPG at times, because you'll be going up against other ships and they'll have different levels, so obviously if they've got like a super high level, chances are you don't want to fuck with those ships. With that being said though, sometimes you might want to take the risk and take them on anyway, because they'll have like super good loot, and obviously with the better loot you can do more upgrades to your ship, and it just becomes this really fun grindy process of like taking out other people's ships and doing other missions and stuff to get money so that you can upgrade your ship and make it better, and I really enjoyed that aspect of this game. But what separates it from other like piratey type games or other like ship combat games is that once you take out ships, you actually have the ability to board the ships, and then you can like plunder them even more, because if you just blow them up, you're only going to get some of the loot, but if you can actually board their ship, and like you have to kill off like a handful of the people in order to get this loot, but you'll basically get the maximum amount of loot. And this was always just super fun to me, you know, swinging your rope onto their ship and then just beating the shit out of them, taking all their stuff and then leaving them for dead. I really enjoyed that, and on top of that as well, you can like use your cannons as well and shoot them. I just fucking love the ship combat in this game, boys. It was just super fun.
This place is great, you know? It's whimsical and fun.
So yeah, that's pretty much everything I wanted to talk about with Assassin's Creed Black Flag, okay? Overall, I really love this game, and in my opinion, it really is the pinnacle of the series. So yeah, if you've never played Assassin's Creed Black Flag, boys, then you owe it to yourself to play this one, okay? It's pretty damn cheap these days. I mean, I think you can literally get this game for like a tenner on eBay. It's an absolutely incredible game, and I'm just so glad that I came back to it all these years later, because I wasn't sure if this game was going to age all that well, but to my surprise, it really did age well. But yeah, for those of you who have played this game, let me know in the comments, okay? Is this one of your favorites? Is it not your favorite? What is your favorite Assassin's Creed game? I want to talk about Assassin's Creed in the comments. And if you guys are as excited as I am about Assassin's Creed Mirage, then let me know in the comments as well. I just want to talk about Assassin's Creed. But yeah, if you did enjoy this video, boys and girls, like and subscribe, and yeah, I'll see you guys for the next one for some more juicy content.